Amen. That was so beautiful. I invite us now into a time of giving, a time to offer our gifts and be generous with each other and be delighted and cheerful in giving. I shouldn't say that because Phil said it all so eloquently, right? And so I should just, what he said, okay? What he said. Our mission partner this month is also the United Church of Christ Neighbors in Need, a fund that is taken and it is given to two separate entities. The first is the Council for American Indian Ministries, and the second goes to grants that are given to different churches. I've already told you about a church that's close to a college that set up a tiny home for LGBTQ youth that have been kicked out of their homes. And so those are the types of things that this mission fund goes to. So I invite us now into a time of generous giving. Holy God, please take these gifts that we give and use them to create a world that you delight in, that we can delight in, that everyone can delight in. Amen. To let you know, there are many ways to give. The offering basket is right there in the center of the aisle. As you leave, you can drop your offering in there. You can use the QR code that's on the bulletin, and you can send a check in, and we'll take checks too if you can still send those. So lots of ways to give. As we move further into our time of stewardship, we have been adding roots to our tree that is out in the sanctuary. And we've been talking about how we are rooted in community. And I want to share what has been written on those roots because I just think it is so fabulous. This is how we are rooted here at Park Hill Congregational Church. We are rooted with compassion through our senses, justice, friendships, active community, open to all, love for neighbors, rooted in community, serving God together, active faith, caring, wisdom of fellowship, amen? Acceptance, welcoming, equity, and learning. I just think that's incredible. And now think about how these roots have been turned into love. Love for yourself, love for God, love for your neighbors. How have you been loved here? Have you received a hug, a smile, a phone call, an email, prayers? Have you received a famous hug from Kim? Have you been challenged to love harder, to love deeper, to love wider, to love different? And as you think about that today, I'd like you to take out your hearts that were in your bulletin and write those down on your hearts. And we will add them to the trees when you leave here today so that we can see how our roots turn into love. Next week, we are going to ask you to make a faith pledge, and knowing that you are rooted in this community, you will receive a letter in the mail, and if you don't already have, if you haven't already with the pledge card, please bring that back next Sunday or send it in anytime. Don't worry, if you don't bring it back next Sunday, we'll have another one for you. And that's all I have to say, but now I'd like for you to welcome, please, Judy Waldron, who is here to tell us a bit why she pledges to this church. Thank you in advance for your generosity and for your love.
Well, I've been coming here. Am I on? Okay. In time to enjoy Phil before, and so I do know several of you. Beth asked me to speak to you, and who can say no to Beth? She does so much for our community. I first came to a congregational church as a child. I was raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I received a Bible, from Sunday school, which I use today. I was a member of the youth group and went to choir practice on Thursday nights and sang in the choir on Sundays. We had many field trips in our youth group, but one memorable one was in early spring when our group was driven a couple of miles south to a farm where we helped plant potatoes. It was very cold, snowy, and wet, but the farmer was pleased that we had come and pleased with our efforts. I mention this because I feel very strongly that as children grow, they absorb information from all their surrounding sources. In my case, from an old farmer in an early spring, needing help planting a crop for summer. Our teachers work tirelessly to bring knowledge to our children, but so much these days comes from outside sources. All sorts of information from their friends, acquaintances, phones, IT. It's so different today and so worrisome. I'm happiest when I know that kindness, equality, gentleness, fairness, empathy, and social commitment are being thought of and taught to our youth on a constant basis. Therefore, Jeremy is such a gentle guide, and we are so fortunate to have found him leading our Sunday school. Daily, he handles ADL and all its breadth of problems and knowledge, and on Sundays, he helps guide our children in the commitments that surround us here at Park Hill. Thank you to Jeremy. Personally, I am now retired. I taught primary school for 10 years, raised 3 wonderful children, and was happily employed at the Intermountain Jewish News for 27 years. And then I came to Park Hill. I found a place of quiet when I needed it here at Park Hill. Here I found a community of folks who held the same sort of ideals, belief, and justice that I did. Coming to church on Sundays allows me to take a deep breath and resort my priorities, start each week anew, say prayers to those I'd been too busy to remember, renew my commitments, and begin each week with a fresh outlook. Giving, tithing, just seems to me to be a part of the commitment I made. I'm renewed, and I am grateful to those who have helped me. They hold things together. They pay the bills for the water, for the mowing, for the shoveling, for the cleaning, and our secretary and our ministers, everyone who holds this place together. It's easy for me to give. I just write a monthly check, and my bank takes care of everything for me. There are many ways to give, and Beth will help you find them all. Thank you.